Hello everybody! Today, after no bans in Pioneer, let's come back to Pioneer. This is the blue-eyed control deck I've been playing with a few a few things I kind of dislike. I'm not sure about that caster. I think could easily be changed. Gideon has been okay. I really like the sensors, but this is basically a very stock list. With the sideboard, just a settle as another mass removal spell, Elspeth. The rest is basically the same as I've been playing for a very long time. So today I want to jump into another matchup. I want to cover as many matchups in the format as possible. So let's get into the game, shall we? Game 1. Okay, so this is the hand I open. I remember that when I was playing the match, it was like late in the evening. Or actually, no, it was I think at night, and I was really tired. And I thought, but let's play a league a bit. And I was like, okay, but it will be relevant in a moment. And so I look at this hand and think, unfortunately, I want the draw, but I cannot mulligan this hand with double turn 1 interaction and all the lands necessary. I see a forest, I see Traverse the Ovenwald. Immediately I think Delirium, and I feel so I feel terrible because I'm tired and I really wanted to play some kind of dynamic game of Magic, and I play against Delirium, which is like boring slugfest. But sure, okay, I draw another land, which is absolutely undesirable because I'm basically flooded now. And let's see what they do. They play a basic Swamp and Grizzly Salvage. I don't care. They show me this, and from that they take Watery Grave, right? So that's how you can follow. They take a Watery Grave. I draw another land, and I'm thinking, this is what I get for wanting to play Magic late at night. Oh, okay. They play Uro, which I didn't censor because I thought actually maybe, and I think the idea was to censor it on the way back from escape. However, I forgot that not only will they have 4 lands on turn 4, but also a 5th land from Uro, so I won't be able to do that. So that was like an oversight. I draw Verdict, which is meh in this matchup. I pass the turn. Generally, this matchup revolves, online at least, I've been playing it a lot online, and I don't lose too much this matchup. But why? Because very often I just lose on time, really. Like, clock is a real concern because they take a lot of game actions, and they burn the clock. But except for these small things, they've got very few threats that matter. Like Corsair, Uro, removal spell, done. Ballista. Like they are not like these threats which basically maybe they don't have that many. If left unchecked, I lose threats because it's basically Uro, which takes a lot of time to set up. So I'm really not afraid of what they can do. They play Tracker, it resolves because I can't censor it. They crack Passage, they have an island, they have another land, they shock this in, they pass. I'm already thinking that that's probably bad, but I didn't play Cycle Sensor. Why? Because because on turn 3 I didn't Cycle Sensor because I knew that on turn 4 I would be able to hold up both Sensor and Seal Away, right? So I want to plan out following turns, and then I knew I would like to keep interaction up. Double interaction. And so my hope is that they attack, I seal away it, they crack a clue for 2, play a land and play Uro, which I can sense. So that's like the dream scenario, right? They crack a clue. That's one part of the plan. Now they play Uro, and at this point, I decide I've got enough. Because realistically, what will happen? To be fair, I conceded because I thought I'd rather just play post-board games than just play this slugfest for another 40 minutes. But So it's not that like normally if that was a important tournament I would have played it out. But the point is that, so they play Euro, they draw another card, they've got up to 6 cards, potentially another here, they've got 2 cards here, if they play land off of this, they've got another clue. Let's say they attack, I seal away it, I untap, play Gideon on Uro, which still attacks and triggers, I don't pull ahead at all, right? So I thought, let's save time for both of us, let's play pause board games. And so, let's play pause board games. Play pause board games. Sideboarding. I've been asked a lot about this sideboard in particular, and I think people are surprised very often when I tell them what I do. Because I literally, when you look at the sideboard, I literally side in 13 cards. I used to side in 15, but my sideboard was a bit different. I side in everything that is not a Settle or an Elspeth. I side 3 Gusts. Excellent. Disputes for the Jaces, for the Disputes, for the Uros. Right? I side in Trawler. They can't beat a Trawler. I side in Mentor because they can't beat a Mentor. I side in, all these cards. I side in Rip because it trumps them. So I literally side in 13 cards. Now, I take out a Cast Out. And this card is like, an Elspeth because I side in Rip and like gain 5 is irrelevant. And the create 2 bodies is like semi-relevant because I'm not afraid really of what they play. Dig because Rip, for Charm, because what do you want to charm realistically? They either don't have a threat, or their threat is like an Uro, for example. And also just Charm is like, can't hit on target a Jace as well. Evito, I left 1 in, they could have like a Traverse, they could have like a 1 Nissa or 1 Liliana, but it's, or like a Snag, a Grizzly Salvage, but in general they're not that many targets. And for Verdicts, because again, they don't play a lot of threats, meaningful threats, they don't, clog the board that much, and that's why it's not that important. Now, you can say, and people will say in the comments, I know they will say that in the comments, what if they play an Ishkana? What if they play 3 threats, right? 1, so what have you been doing the rest of the game? Because I side in Gusts, which are interaction, Disputes, which are interaction, Mentor, and Trawler. So that's one question. So what have you been doing the whole game? And 2, the threats. Mentor grows exponentially and it can dominate a board state. I don't need a Verdict to control the board state. Mentor controls the board state, right? That's 1. 2, Trawler, similar thing. Like, what, I don't care that if they have creatures, right? Because I can still go, keep attacking with Trawler and control the board with 2 Sealaways, which I left in. Teferi, which bounces. Gideon, which pluses, Big Teferi, which minuses, so like Verdict isn't sacred that much, and I like I like this approach. I very like this approach. So this is my post board hand, and I think Sniper, Keeper. I've got a Dispute for a Jace, Gust for I've got everything in this hand. Brilliant. And I really wouldn't like to see, again, a Verdict in such a hand. Or any of these cards, basically. Tap land go, makes sense. I draw a land, so that's good. I main phase, because I had 3 lands, and I wanted to main phase Omen to 100% hit a land, because they could have disputed it. Now, I left myself vulnerable to a Jace, but I thought that it's probably not that important. Now the question is, what's more important? Now, thinking now about it, what's more important, what's more dangerous? Me not hitting a land drop, 4th land drop I mean, or them playing a Jace, and probably actually I should have left mana up, now thinking about it, because, yeah. However, yeah, because I should leave mana up, because I could just do this on the next turn, having 3 mana, because I had this, and cast this and this, right? So, maybe I should have kept mana up. However, I want to draw your attention to the fact that when I play Omen like that, they are incentivized to play Grizzly Salvage or Jace on turn 2, right? Because I'm tapped out. And then it makes them vulnerable to my Gideon, right? So I say, I tapped out on turn 2, please play something turn 2. They do, because they have to. Now I untap slammed Gideon. Then they play turn 3 something, which is irrelevant. What's an Uro? Not a threat. A tracker, I can gust it, right? It's really barely relevant what they play turn 3. And then I untap with Gideon, gust, dispute, right? And they do play Grizzly Salvage. And I do play a Gideon. Because now they took a Jace off of the salvage, yeah. And even though I know they've got a Jace, because again, I hate treating cards like this card has always been difficult to deal with, so I should be able to deal with it, kind of, right? Not adapting to the context at hand. And here, they would have to play the Jace, sure. They'd have to flip it, sure. What can they flashback? A salvage, sure. Decay, I either don't care or can just put it on top. I mean, or use... Okay, so, in this specific context, I don't care that much. My opponent actually opts against casting a Jace because they want to be mana efficient. Makes sense, right? So a very interesting play on their part. They want to be mana efficient, and I really respect that. I really respect mana efficiency. But now, I just play a land, bash them, albeit to 19, and hold up double interaction. Course. Now, I know it's not a threat per se, and I probably shouldn't care about it. However, there are a few points here. One, if it resolves, it will be able to... So they will just take the damage off of Gideon and then attack it back, and I really don't want that to be happening. That's one. Two, I make the turns awkward for them. I'm tempo efficient, right? I'm tempo positive, trade 2 for 3. And lastly, I've got 2 mana up, so they might not, so they think, oh, so I don't have a Void Shatter, Absorb, or Syncope, or Sabotage, so I can play Jace, which I'll dispute then. So there are a few things going on, and a bit of, let's say, mind games. They don't play a J, but they play a Decay, and I do have a Gideon. However, I opt to gust again. Now, if they put Decay on top, I don't care because I still have got the Gideon. However, they will spend, again, half of their turn doing that, right? And I'm not too afraid of Uro the following turn because I can always dispute it, right? Okay, play Castle, bash again. Now let's see what my opponent does. They decay it, sure. And they play Jace. So I can safely dispute it. So I think that was a missequence on my opponent's part. They should have started with the Jace. Now my opponent plays a Jace. So either they didn't care, or they thought that they will play me and show, oh, I just overcommitted my mana into Decay, now Jace, right? As in, they wanted it to be countered. So I'll just pop my Omen, and I see Teferi Sensor. So what I do, I simply keep Teferi, and I actually think I should keep Sensor as well, because I will be able to play Teferi, untap, hold up Sensor. If it's relevant, it will be awesome, because I'll untap with Teferi pulse probably. If it's irrelevant, I'll just cycle it away. Now, I mean, still in a very good position, because they've got 1 card in hand, and nothing relevant to flashback, which is again important to remember. This card itself isn't that scary, depends on the context, and it flashing back 1 Thoughtseize makes it a 1-for-1, because otherwise it's just a Merfolk looter. So even if they flip and play a Thoughtseize, that's still just a 1-for-1. The worst thing they could do is just play an Uro on their turn. But if they do, I can untap, tack Uro, and play a Gideon, right? So I'm setting up a kind of good sequence of draws. And I hope my kind of analysis and description isn't too chaotic. Might be, but I hope it's not. So I opt to tack the Jace, actually, because so my thought process was, let's not give them a chance to Grizzly Salvage, right? Or to flip it at all. And make them do something else, right? However, I don't know if I realized it, but I should have realized it, that because I did that and they played an Uro, I don't have an answer to an Uro, right? And also I changed I kept Sensor on top exclusively to be able to play Teferi up and hold up Sensor, which I didn't do, which makes that my previous decision bad. So that's one thing. So if I make a decision, it should be consistent. However, there is nothing wrong with changing your decision, because if you think you've made a wrong decision, obviously adapt. So if I put the Teferi Sensor and I realize actually I should downtick Teferi, absolutely do. Don't feel overcommitted to a play too much if you can repair it, right? But I think I changed my decision wrongly here, right? So I think that's the point I want to make. They Sultai Charm, draw to discard a card, and they follow it up with the Jace, which was in the deck. Now I can plus Teferi, see what happens. Island, meh. So I will probably cycle Sensor to see what happens. Sensor, okay, so I will cycle Sensor, see what happens. Seal away, that's excellent. Now I can play Gideon and then seal away Jace when it's attempting to flip. It still doesn't deal with the Uro problem, but yeah, so let's just seal away that. My opponent will probably play Uro, they discard their Thoughtseize, which make perfect sense. They play Uro from hand. And they put a tapped land, so they either, again, I don't know, do they either forgot about the Uro in their graveyard, or they're playing around something I don't know about, right? But I think they may have forgotten there about it. Monastery Mentor, that's excellent. Draw. Omen of the Sea, excellent. So bash them for 4. Right, play a Mentor, hold up Omen of the Sea. And again, at no point in that game, and I know it's empirical, right? I'm not this would be empirical evidence, but I do think that's most often the case. And that's just an example to back this up. That at no point would I have wanted to draw a verdict, right? Absolutely not. So they duress me. So I play a Omen of the Sea in response, right? I see a land. So I will actually keep Farmland because it represents a card, but it cannot be duressed, right? Oh, focus. I'm out of focus. Let's not be out of focus. Thank you. Sure. So my opponent duress me. Now they play Tamio. So I cycle, okay, I draw another Omen. They pick up a decay to kill Mentor. So they want to decay the Mentor. So in response to decaying the Mentor, my opponent concedes because they see that there is no way to crawl back from that game. And I 100% agree. See, yeah. Let's see each other game 3. Game 3, this is my hand. I think, yeah, it has to be a keep. I've got interaction, card selection, and pressure. They duress my Omen of the Sea. Probably they wanted me to stumble on lands, but I drew a land. Unfortunately, it's a plains. Now they play a Fabled Passage go. So I play Plains pass. Hold up Dispute. Now they play Jace. So I'm snapping that Dispute off. And now because I didn't, now I want to be... my opponent has 3 cards in hand, right? I will play a land, I will have 5. What I think I should be doing here is, 1 is mana efficiency, and 2, making them have it. If I slam a Mentor and they have decay, they've spent their entire turn decaying, right? Obviously, the worst case would be if they play land, Uro, play another land, decay, right? That would be the absolute worst scenario. But it won't be still that bad, really, I think. So I'd rather make them have it, 1, and 2, play to the board, blue jump them out. Now my opponent plays a Forest. Now they play a Walking Ballista, and they kill my Mentor. Sure. Now the question is, do I slam Mentor and that's it? Or hold up Sabotage and then the following turn hope to have Mentor Gust, right? Or just play it tapped and hold up Gust, right? So think about it for a moment. What would you do in that spot? What I decided to do, and I still think is the best case, because like if my Mentor dies now, I'm a bit of a trouble. Not that much, but a bit of a trouble. I need to get runner lands. So what I decide to do is shock in and hold up Sabotage. And if that wasn't Absorb, maybe I would have changed my decision. But because it's Sabotage, I know if we counter whatever they play, I can surveil into a land. Howl Fountain. Yes, thank you. And my opponent, I think the replay is bagged a bit. Actually, maybe it's not. Actually, because they saw their double Mentor, and I will remember it because they saw with the duress. So now they fetched. They have the one card in hand. They know, because they know my hand. They know I will go Mentor Gust, and they have kept the card on top. So my opponent says, I won't win. I just won't win. And I think it shows, because that was a super fast game, and it literally took 5 turns. But so did the first one, really. So the conclusion I want to give is that Sultai Delirium is a mid-range deck, but it's not as interactive as, for example, Junt in Modern. So here, if I slam Mentor, I say, have you got like the 2-off removal spell you've got post-board? Most probably 2-off, if at all, right? They do play Abrupt Decay because we saw that game too. But again, just show me that. Show me these 2 removal spells. Don't have them, you lost. Because they will play what? A Course of Crofix? Or they will play like Uro from hand? Like they will never keep up with Mentor and the amount of efficient spells I've got. I don't play now Dig, Verdict, Settle, Cast Out Elspeth. I'm playing Gust, Mentor, Dispute, Omen. I'm super efficient. And so I play a Mentor turn 3, and turn 4 I never tap out ever again. And on turn 4 I most probably hold up 2 spells, which is, for example, Gust, or Gust Dispute, or Dispute Omen, or Omen Gust. Or another Veto, or a Seal Away, or a Censor. And by being super efficient in interaction, like I don't care about most of their deck. Like realistically, I care about 1 card, and that's Emrakul, which I still have won against. Like I've won having been Emrakuled 3 times in a game. So Emrakul is the only card that matters. But even if that's the case, Mentor just doesn't care about Emrakul. I just kill him. I kill him either before Emrakul is important or after, right? Because even if they attack with the Mentor into Emrakul, I probably have created some tokens. So I hope that all makes sense. If there is anything that is unclear, please let me know below in the comments, on Twitter, or on Facebook, or on YouTube. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hold my hand. Let's pass the turn together, and see you next time. Cheers.